Hello everyone, this is Pooka and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. This time I will be going up against a player named EyeLikePie, and as you can see from the logo up top, this is from Bad Deck Monday, our live stream every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our stream at twitch.tv/thetopcut. And this game I am trying out a deck that was suggested to me by two-time world champion Jason Klaczynski. This is a Zebstrika Mew deck, which basically just tries to lock your opponent down with Zebstrika's Disconnect attack, and then from there you just pretty much use Disconnect over and over and over, take advantage of Hypnotoxic Laser, the fact that your opponent can't play any items to switch out of it, and you should just slowly whittle them away until you win. So here I have not a great hand, but I have that Bianca. I can put down the Mew EX and then Bianca for 3 cards, or I can Bianca for 2 cards. If I put down the Mew, then he could catch out my Mew and then stop a turn to Disconnect if I don't draw a switch. But I decided to draw the extra card since I'm going to need to draw an Energy and a Zebstrika to Disconnect anyway. So heck, might as well put down the Mew, take the little risk, draw the extra card. I get a couple of EXP shares, and we're going to use Agility and do 20 damage to that Deoxys EX. Now, the funny thing about this game is my opponent also happens to be using a Zebstrika deck. Like, what are the odds of that happening? I honestly just have not seen anyone play Zebstrika online. Probably for the past couple months. And I obviously haven't used it in the past couple months. I think the last time I used it was before the last regional or something like that. I don't even know. Maybe before Plasma Storm came out, and now we're both using it. How does that happen? I don't know. Anyway, my opponent does switch into Blitzel and then use Smash Kick. He's opting for the 70 HP one, and I pretty much think I win at this point. This is probably not too good of a game to upload, but this is just kind of silly, which is why I did decide to upload it. A Zebstrika mirror match. So I'm going to use Mew EX to copy Disconnect on Zebstrika. My opponent can no longer play items, which means that Deoxys EX is pretty much just stuck out there. Yep, so you can see Disconnect. Zebstrika looks kind of like the logo from the Fruit Stripes gum, if anyone had that growing up. The zebra from that. But yeah, so basically, this deck is a throwback to the deck that Jason Klaczynski used to win the 2006 World Championship, which was Mewtrick, which was Mew EX and Manectric EX. And Zebstrika is almost a word-for-word reprint of Manectric EX. Although it's not an EX any longer, but it is almost identical to that card. It is pretty ridiculous. So I am going to Skyla here for the MVP of the deck, and that is Rock Guard. Alright? So Rock Guard is the A spec where it's a tool, you attach it to your Pokemon, and if your opponent does damage to you, then they take 6 damage counters. It's a super powered Rocky Helmet. And when you use Disconnect, they cannot play Tool Scrapper to get rid of it. They can't play Catcher to get around it. They can't play Hypnotoxic Laser to get around it. So they're forced to just pretty much headbutt themselves for 60 damage every time they attack you. Now this is going to be especially good here because Zebstrika only has 60 hit points. So my opponent is going to do 40 damage to me and then take 60, and then I can continue to Disconnect until I win, pretty much, because I'm going to get a knockout with Disconnect. And then Rock Guard is going to just set it up so that Disconnect is a knockout right back. So this matchup, I assume, is just whoever gets Disconnect first. As you can see, I went first, and that was pretty much all there was to this game. So yeah, this is actually a pretty uneventful game, but I thought it was funny to just kind of show how silly this deck is, first of all. I don't know how competitive it really is. I don't really think it's that competitive. But how silly it is that in a Zebstrika mirror match, whoever uses Disconnect first pretty much wins the game. I'm going to use Getsis here, and we're going to draw 3. Those are the 3 items my opponent couldn't play. And I just catchered up another Deoxys EX. We're going to Disconnect. There may be some openings for this deck to be okay because of these kinds of situations, you know, Deoxys EX does have a 2 retreat cost. It is weak to Psychic, and it's a vulnerable target for Disconnect. Even in those Team Plasma decks, this could be a big problem for those kinds of things. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe this could work. Maybe not. It is very vulnerable in the opening turns, but if you can get a turn 2 Disconnect going first, then it's very strong. I just find that other than that, you're going to have a lot of trouble. I've gotten 6-0'd many times using this deck. This is one of the rare occurrences where it actually functioned. And alright, we're going to disconnect, knock out that Deoxys EX, and go figure, one of the times it functions is in a mirror match. Not a very good example, probably. But at the very least, this game was entertaining to me. So here's an end to one, but at this point, this game is over. My opponent is forced to disconnect my active Mew, and then he'll take 60 from the Rock Guard, and he is just pretty much in an unwinnable position. Rock Guard plus disconnect. Overpowered, clearly. So thanks, guys, for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks again to Jace Kozinski. He can relive his glory days of Mew Trick. And there we go. Zebstrika is the future. Alright, guys. See you next time. I'm Pooka from the Top Cut. And I'll have some more videos for you soon. Goodbye.